Okay, dear taxation students, I'm Abil Ahmed, taxation expert. In today's, I would say, concept building video, we'll be discussing a question which I've taken from the pre-seen mock June 2026. And that question is on actually adjusted income. You should know that someone who's having adjusted income more than 2,60,000 does not get the entire annual pension, annual allowance of 60,000. Basically, for that individual, pension annual allowance limit of 60,000 will start reducing if your adjusted income is more than 2 lakh 60. How do we calculate adjusted income? It's very simple. First, we have to take the net income of individual. Second, you have to add, if employee has contributed to the occupational pension scheme, I will add that amount to the net income. If employer has contributed for the employee in any of the pension schemes, I will add employer's contribution as well. Then the final answer is going to be your adjusted income. If it is more than 260, then in taxation, your annual allowance of 60,000 will reduce. Let's see a question and then I'll tell you that exactly if your adjusted income is increases to what amount, then what will be your minimum annual allowance limit. I'll explain that also. Let me first share the question. Just a minute, the question is here. Okay, now let us first discuss this. Let me little bit zoom in. Okay, there's too much. I would say zoom in. What is Michael's available annual allowance for the tax year 25-26? Michael net income is 2,70,000. For the tax year 25-26, during the tax year, Michael made contribution 11,000 to his employer's occupational pension scheme. Okay. And his employer contributed 19,000 to the scheme as well. Michael had no unused annual allowance brought forward. Does not have any annual allowance brought forward. Okay. It means you have to just stay with the current year limit, which is 60,000. Now they're asking what is Michael's available annual allowance limit. Now listen to me, students. I would say some of the students, they make, I would say, unnecessary errors. Rather than saying silly mistakes, I'm just finding good, appropriate words, I would say. They make unnecessary errors. Like, we know that when an employee contributes in occupational pension plan, it is a deductible expense. We deduct that from the employment income of individual. But this is not the question right now. They're not asking this thing from you. And we also know that when your employer is contributing for you in any of the pension schemes, it is an exempt benefit for the employee. But again, this is not the question. Right now, they're asking how much annual allowance limit is available to Michael. So first of all, student, you should try to understand what exactly they're asking. If I'm asking you that what comes after Saturday, so instead of Sunday, if you reply that Friday, how can I give you marks? I will not give you marks. Let's focus on this. They're asking how much annual allowance limit is available to Michael. So we need to first calculate adjusted income. Net income, they have given us 2,70,000. Michael has contributed how much? 11,000. So simply add employees' contribution to occupational pension plan, which is 11,000. You will have to add the employer's contribution also to the occupational pension plan, which is 19,000. Here comes adjusted income. If adjusted income is more than 260, if adjusted income is more than 260, then annual allowance limit will reduce. So students, 2,70,000 plus 11 plus 19, I'm getting 300,000. Okay. Obviously, it is more than 260. So annual allowance, which is 60,000 minus less adjusted income, which is 300,000 minus 260. We'll take 50% of this or 1/2. So basically, Michael is having annual allowance limit of 40,000. So Michael does not have 60,000 annual allowance available limit in the current tax year. Why? Because his adjusted income is more than 2,60,000. And let me tell you one thing. Annual allowance limit can never become zero. There's a possible, what if Michael is having a adjusted income 400,000, then what happens? If someone is having adjusted income either 400,000 or maybe 500,000, the minimum annual allowance that individual will still get is 10,000 pounds. So there is a difference. There's one concept which we have studied, of course, many times in our regular classes. If someone is having adjusted net income equal to greater than 1,25,140, that individual is getting personal allowance zero. But annual allowance cannot be zero. Minimum annual allowance for the pension could be 10,000 pounds. It cannot be less than 10,000 pounds. So whoever is having, I would say, adjusted income greater than equal to 360, that individual will have annual allowance 10,000 pounds. Simply, the minimum annual allowance could be 10,000, cannot be less than 10. But in case of this question, Michael will have a limit of 40,000. So here comes the answer, which is Charlie. C is the answer. And taxation, so let me tell you one thing. If you enroll yourself in our taxation course, number one, the entire taxation course gets completed within, I would say, 50 to maybe 55 hours, maybe 50 to 55 hours. Within these hours, you will not be getting only the entire course, you will also be getting the practice videos. In Abil School of Accountancy, each lecture of taxation is, on average, it is 40 to 45 minutes long, not more than that. Plus, you will also be getting a very unique taxation crash course, which no one else other than us provides you in the entire world. And that unique taxation crash course is just within 6 hours, you can revise the entire taxation. Plus, we will provide you the focus notes around 70 plus pages. And once you have gone through all those 70 plus pages, there's no need to read any Kaplan book. Plus, we provide you the fastest WhatsApp support in the entire world. Plus, we respond all of your queries. All means all of your queries. And we do not keep any teacher assistant. All the queries will be responded by the teacher. For example, when you will be enrolling yourself at Abil School of Accountancy in taxation course, so I'm going to personally reply all of your queries. So students, join now, secure your spot in taxation at ASA. Thank you very much.